All right, here we go. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm gonna continue down my journey. Senna, how are you doing? Where are you? Where do you live, by the way? It seems like these late streams that it's just ridiculous timing for me. I'm only gonna have a couple people. It looks like it's gonna be some usuals here. Senna H 1998. Where are you located? Hello, 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 hello. All right, let's continue the journey as you let me know that. I think I started looking at this. I'm gonna the articulation. I want to have a little bit more. I like a little bit what's going on in my model, so I'm gonna kind of replicate that. So let's do a duplication of this, and instead of what I have going on here, in fact, here, before I do that, let's go back to this knee. Let's reposition these. I'm going to go more this route. Let's make all these be on the same level. Yeah, something more like that. Okay. Okay, I like that better. Then let's duplicate this. All right, let's first go to one of them. I'm going to rename this top knee. What's going on, Joe Dye? Hello, hello. How are you, Motion Bug? How are you doing? So we've got a couple of the usuals been here in my streams with me that doing these late night. It's like late night with Paul. Late night with Paul, crazy dude. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so let's see, modeler. We'll get rid of this. Get rid of this. Whoops. I don't want this. Don't want this. Don't want this. The only thing I want is this. It's the only thing I want. Delete hidden. I'm gonna make sure it's. Let's go a little bit higher. Let's see. Let's go a little bit higher with that. Okay. So I got this. Perfecto. Let's do, whoops, local symmetry. I'm going to mirror and weld that so I get a point here in the middle, just the easy way to do it. Brush the modeler. And let's go some volume there, I think. Yeah, and then, oops. And I don't want that. Okay, so. So we can get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and that. So now I'm left with this. Okay, and then now this leg, let's get rid of the top half now. So I don't want that, that, or that. So I want that kind of thing. And then let's come out of solo mode. Now there we go. And now I need this bottom knee part. Just debating. I think I'm going to have to. Let's go a little bit down. So it's just more of a line like that in him. Okay. And then that means this guy, debating on what I want to do. Just debating. I'm going to go that style for that leg. it on both sides. Yes. And I'm going to go with, I need it. I think I'm going to go that big. So that means I need to put this back up. Again, I'm doing the articulated parts is what I'm looking at right now. So let me select this. Perfect. And then we don't want local symmetry anymore. Mirror weld it. I should probably start putting together like a custom UI. My sound is low. Here, let me move the mic even closer. Tell me if that works. I was kind of just mumbling. So Joe, the challenge is I am challenging myself to sculpt 5 Transformers from my childhood that I really liked. So that's my challenge. So I'm trying to do them all, pretty much all in ZBrush. That's added to my challenge. So I'm starting with Soundwave, which is one of my favorite Transformers. It might even be my most favorite Transformer. I just loved the style of him. So let me know if the volume's better now. Tell me if the volume is better now for you guys. I just moved the microphone closer to me. So that should be better. Okay, I'm going with that. So again, back to you, Joe. I'm just challenging myself. That's my challenge. It's my 2021 challenge, art challenge in essence, to make 5 Transformers. And I'll be honest with you, I've been watching the series again. I might do more than 5 because I might end up doing like the Alex Ross type of like battle scenes, and I would need more than 5. I would like minimum I would need 5 on both sides, the Skepticons and Autobots. So I don't know, it could end up being a lot more, but don't quote me on that. My goal is 5 of my favorite ones. And then I might decide to 3D print them later, and other things like that might be a possibility for me. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. That is my challenge. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, please do let me know, and I'll answer it. Well, my challenge for you guys would be, can you do one? Can you now do a Transformer? Right? That would be the ultimate challenge for you all. Did you know that series that that's where this YouTube actually channel started for me, was the Did You Know That series, which started when did I start this channel? Like I honestly haven't been posting on this channel for years. I just started doing this in 2021. So I think Did You Know That was like 13 years ago I started this YouTube channel, but obviously because now we've got things at Pixelogic, got all this other stuff going on, I have stopped posting here. But yeah, I started again, I think, 2 years ago, making some videos. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do some probably short, really, the Did You Not will be the really short videos, like I did them originally, just little quick tips. And then we'll do these streams where I'm doing like fan art stuff. And you guys just come along the ride with me. Ask questions, throw dirt at me, whatever you need, man, just do it, Okay, so I want to duplicate this guy, and I'm going to move this down, and I only need the one side right now, so I can center it to this, and I want a new cube, right? I don't want any spans. Okay, let's see if this is going to look weird or not. If it gets too tiny. Let's see. Okay, and then it would need to go at least that wide. And I need to go at least there in the back part. So we'll mask that off. And then the front needs to come way forward. Something more like that. I'm going to use this as another point of articulation. So I'm going to put some articulation inside there that'll allow a bend right there. I don't need a major bend, but I'm just going to use that as a way. So now let's make a little bit now more of a design here with this. Let's just add a little more, maybe a little bit more of an element to it. I'm going to dial back on the dynamic for this one just a little bit more, like that world. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming again on the Pixelogic. I'm going to stream next Friday. I'm going to go back to doing some Friday streams on the Pixelogic site. So that's going to happen. It's on its way. Need to unmask. Do this. I'll do maybe something there, and then I'm going to pull this down just to give this something, another angle, and it's good for some light reflecting to happen there as well. That's too much. I want to go smaller. More like that. Yeah. Something more along that lines. Do I want to also do this and just maybe it has it so it's turn symmetry off, so I'm looking at the wrong side. Go this route. So let me mirror weld it over. And I'm gonna go maybe just have an angle like that. See what we get there. I have to go back to my handy dandy creasing way of working, although that's working for me now. Yeah, that's better. I like that. That's better. That's definitely better. Okay. Not a fan. I don't want to just go straight flat back here. I need to find a better way so I can see your guys's. Oh, you're bringing the look at me. What's your question about texturing again? How can you put scratch on metals like Sears and well, that's going to be about I'm just reading now. I'm waiting for series. Did you know that it's 24 karat gold? Absolutely. Oh, thanks, Motion Bug. Yeah, I'll get back to him. Scratches on metal, it's just sculptural. So if you want to do it by painting, you can do it by painting, of course. There's ways to do that. Let me show you. I'll show you probably the approach I do. I'm just, give me a minute. Let me just finish this thought off, what I'm doing with this. So I think I want to give this guy to have a little bit more angling to it. Maybe not that much, maybe that. Because you're not going to see it from this side silhouette because it's being blocked by this, of course. But from the back, I want that piece to be a certain way. Okay. All right. I'm digging that. I like that. And then that way this can also have different color. So I can keep that, well, gray would not be my ideal color. I mean, black. There we go. So creates another layer. And it also gives this part of the leg a little more length too. So yeah, I like that. I'm going with that. Again, I'm sticking as true a little bit into the 80s as possible, but throwing my own little spin on it as much as I can, right? So let me save this off, just since I'm going to go on a little tangent here. I need to get my thing back up and running. I've got a Stream Deck. I got to get it working here on my Mac side. Just going to save this real quick, and then I'll answer your question that you're asking me about. Okay, scratches, as far as that goes, right, it's going to come down to also enough polygons, right? So even if you're going to do it painting-wise, you need the polygons to do it. If you're going to do it sculpturally, you need the polygons to do it, okay? So either one's going to work. And you can paint, and so we'll just take this guy as an example. We'll take these arms as an example, okay? And I'm going to apply the subdivision levels. So now we got this. So now we're sitting at 40,000-ish. That's nowhere near enough. I'm going to go more and even more. So now this is at 2.5 million now, right? So everything gets even a little bit better results. You can see where I'd be going with this. So now the Damien standard brush, if you're just sticking with, you know, what ships, would be a good brush. Just adding some scratches. So they just lightly go across the surface here, right? So this is a way to do some scratches, right? You just want that just to catch the light, right? That's really, and right now I'm not using the right material for this, right? You went with a little bit better material, see, that stands out more because the lights can now catch this. And this is why I'm doing things like beveling in here and beveling in here. So when I go to divide this up, it'll have a nice way to catch light, right? So that is one way. If you want to go the way of, let's say, you can do a standard brush, you can do a drag rack, and even just what ships a ZBrush, this thing can give you some scratches. So you probably do a Z sub, right? So it's pretty intense right out the gate, okay? So there might be in the alpha palette, I might modify this. Number one, I might say let's add more this way and even tile it that way, right? So now I'm getting something more like that, okay? And then now play with this even more and play with like your contrast would be one thing to play with here. So I'll eliminate a little bit of it, play with your intensity. So I'm just getting less of the alpha, right? So this is now the same alpha, but I've played with the contrasting and the intensity to just create little bits of maybe fragments that has hit them, right, in a battle. So you could do something like that if you wanted as well. Okay. You can do just, again, like straight up poly paint if you want to. Let's see. Let me reset all the brushes. Okay, and I'm going to go to the paintbrush. And then now it's just pick a color, right? Which would be smart about this is, you know, if you're thinking about this, especially like this, he's blue, right? The metal's not blue. So if I was going to put scratches, say, even on the blue piece, so scratch this, I'm going to undo all this. So let's go to now this blue piece up here. Let's do the same thing. Let's apply this, and let's up the polygon count here. There, 2.3. Okay, so if I was really doing scratches, okay, it's not going to be enough to just sit and, like, you know, do something like this where you're just painting some scratches through here. Okay, what's going to be good with this is not only painting, but you can add some sculpting element to it, right? So this is now sculpting and painting, because really that's what the scratch is doing. It's getting a layer of paint out of the way and getting to, say, like the primer point, or let's say the metal piece was painted multiple times. It's been painted blue, greens, oranges, and whatever it is. This is where you want to start going, is start doing something like this, right? And then you're not only painting, right, but you're also sculpting. So let's go back to, say, something like the Damien Standard now. And we don't want to tile anything now. Okay, so now there's a nice pinching happening here. Okay, so now if you throw in some RGB with this, you're now sculpting and painting at the same time. And now I'm putting in some scratches, right? Another brush that I like to use is the Chisel Brush. I really love this brush. Really deep in cuts. right? So this is just showing you I'm not high enough in polygon counts. If I want to get a really clean line, I either got to do subdivide up another level. Okay, so this is going to go to almost 10 million. And then now this will have a little bit better of a line to it. Okay. Or I decide I'll just use Sculptris Pro. So I take it down something like this, turn this off, and then now the Chisel Brush unfortunately does not work with Sculptris Pro. But now I can do this, and then the benefit of this is as I'm sculpting, I'm also tessellating at the same time. So it's adding triangles at the same time. So you can see. So you could go this approach if you wanted to. Go a little bit bigger brush. And I think this needs a little bit more lazy mouse to it, right? So coming in here, lazy mouse, I'd probably add a little bit more radius to it. Maybe a little bit more smoothing. And then now what's even new is we can say here, we'll just solo this out. I'll just say I only want this. And actually the only section I really care about is this. So now I'm only looking at 84,000 polygons. You're going to get even a better stroke. Right? So you can't go really fast with this, but in the long run, that's going to look like a scratch anyways. So I don't know if that's really what you're looking for. And this, I would separate this. I would not have this be the same subtool if I'm planning to do this. So because I know I'm going to want to probably get to higher subdivision levels. Okay, makes sense? Look up here. Right? There you go. So hopefully that answers your question for you. Hopefully it does. Okay, back to it. I'm going to do a lot of Z modeling. Okay, so this piece, I'm actually going to push this in more. So I prefer this. Push that in more. Do more like that. All right, and I'm going to dupe this because now I want to use these as the articulation pieces. Upper leg. Articulation. Okay, and these are each going to have different colors now. So I'm going to make this a little bit different color so it stands out a little bit more. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of a darker tone. Just so visually I'll see it a lot better. And now this one, I want this to go in. Maybe like this. Let's center this. I need a little bit of gap there. And then I need a gap there. Starts to sell what that articulation is going to do for me. All right, and let's now here, let's go ahead. I'm going to dial back the dynamics on this to be a little bit more tighter. And let's insert here and insert here, Q mesh it, and then do something like, this. Just give it another little bit of volume for light to hit it. And then I think again, I'm going to move it to be a little bit more tighter. And then now, let me move it out. More like along that lines. Okay. So this is going to allow movement for me in multiple different facets. So it needs to also come up like that. Oh yeah, I definitely want to stick with this as well. So this also needs another edge loop here. Let's go even lower than that. Let's go that world. I think I'm going to, let's see what let's enable a triangle. Oops. And see if that, I try to stay away from triangles as much as I can. Okay, so now this needs to move up so it can match that profile better. And then just enough that it looks like it's supposed to be belonging there. There. Okay. There. Happy little trace. And again, I'm going to do a lot more detail in this. I'm just trying to boom, 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 knock out some parts here on what I want to have happening and what I want to look. Okay. So that's that piece. So we're going to have now, this top part will have rotations like this. This will have rotations to swing the leg out. And then there's another rotation inside the leg for this direction. Just making sure I got all the directions that I want to have for this. Okay, that part now I think is done. The knee part is relatively done for the main portion so far. Okay, let's come up here and let's look at this and say, all right, let's separate this now. Whoops, cancel. What am I doing? I want to do a split hidden. Right, and looking at that. Okay, and coming back to the questions. Let me see. Okay, I'm glad that was helpful. Can you turn the volume up on your end a tad? On my end, all maxed out. Thanks. Okay, so let me see. Because I was fine last night. So here, I'll turn it up even more. So I'm maxing out now in OBS. Tell me if that's better. And I'm pretty volumed out on my Yeti. So tell me that's pretty much as high as I can go. And the microphone's like pretty much in front of me. Usually that's not a problem hearing me. Usually I'm loud and obnoxious enough. So hopefully that works for you. It's probably just me. I'm rambling a little bit. Okay, so back to this. I got this. I want this. I only want this side. Okay. Is that better? Okay, that's good. Perfect. Go ahead. Fire away your questions, by all means. Keep going. I'm going to delete symmetry, so I only have the one side. And this piece, I don't want to be this. Let's see. I want, instead of this, let's use a cylinder. And I definitely now do not want Q grid. I want this kind of smoothing. And I'm going to crease it. So we need this at like a 45 degree. Crease it. There, that's more like it. And then I want this here. All right. And then in here, we'll change the size of that. Sits more in like that. We can go bigger. Go big or go home. Something like that. Like this. I'm going to do this. And then we need symmetry along now. The X. Right? So I'm going to do this. And I need it locally. So we'll put an edge there. And then we'll look at just this. Shrink it, Control W it, Q mesh it, polygroup all. Just give it a different little bit of volume in there. And I definitely want to crease complete edge loops there. So when we do this, it looks like that. How does that look in the leg now? Okay, that looks good. That leg is good. Class was good today. It wasn't bad. It was a good class. Are you at Noman? Logo and channel art designer? And masking, wait, how do you mask cracks or bumps like tubers? It's just, you're just masking. It's not too difficult. That's a pretty easy one. Just let me see, get this. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger. Yeah. Something like that. And I'm gonna use kind of what they're doing in here. Mine as well. Right, so let's see. I got spans like this. I'm trying to think what, you know what? I'm gonna have some fun with this. I'm gonna put a little more design into this, I think. So let's do it. So let me duplicate this. Let's turn this one now back into a cube. All right, and I definitely want that creased. We got smoothness, we got some crease level 3. Okay, good. Let's now open some array mesh up. I love me some array mesh, man. I've really become a massive fan of array mesh, in all honesty. Okay, I'm going to repeat it. Let's start with 24 of them. I don't know. I'm guessing right now, but okay, so I'm going to now rotate around the X. So let's go to rotate around the X. 360. Perfect. And then now let me move them apart. Okay, I definitely need to now make it smaller. Don't need to make it so. We're going to do something like this. And let's even add a little bit of a tapering. Cog in the wheel. And then, oh, I moved them way too far apart. They need to be a lot closer. Something like that. Which means I'm going to go even closer. So I want to use this as my outermost spots. And then now this needs to be a lot smaller. There. Happy little trees. There. It's excessive. Okay, I got that repeating. Okay, and now let's go turn this off so I can see everything cogs in the wheel. And then from this angle, do I want to now do a little bit of tapering? This is what I like about array mesh. I can do a lot of experimenting, seeing what I get and what I prefer to have in there. Oh, I just talked about it last time we were streaming. Yes, I did. Class was good. Thank you for asking. At least I think it was good. The students might say otherwise, right? They might have something else to say, though. There we go. Still debating if I want this, if I like this. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving this in. So it's just barely. Yeah. Okay, I'm liking the barely. Okay, so that means I need to take this. Right, let's center that. And just bring that in more. Let's play with that. How does that look? Alright, I'm alright with that. And then let's start putting a little bit more design. Just a little something else in this. So I really don't, this can probably be way up like that. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's do an insert, complete edge loop, single edge. We'll do this. And then insert a single edge. Do something like that. Let's see how this looks. If I start to move these. So I need solo off so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we need an edge also way up here. Like really close. Need another. I'm going to actually uncrease that edge so we get something more like that. Now, let me mask. Boom, beam. Bing, boom, 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 boom. And then let's come out of symmetry, and then let's just do this. And then turn this off. Hide my mask so I can see what's happening. Okay. All right. And then I definitely want this to have a little bit more height, I think, to it. So it gives me something like that. That's not looking too bad. That's not bothering me. It's not bothering me. I'm not bothered by that. Let's give it that darker color too. Both of those. So this. And do I want to add a little bit other traction? Okay, so let's see if I want to, let's do another insert, multiple edge loops. Just, let's do full, like that. Do I want to do this? Well, let's find out. Let's see what this is going to look like. Symmetry, single edge loop. I want, say something like that. This has got to get creased, and then I want Q-mesh this in like that. And then do the same thing on that side. And then let's crease that edge, that edge, that edge, that edge, that edge. Same thing on this side. See, how does that look when it's smooth? Just some kind of extra little element that could catch an eye. Yeah, I kind of dig that. In fact, I'm seeing now, let's add one extra little thing here. Let's take now, ooh, what's this gonna look like? Let's see, what if I crease that and that? Yeah, I think I'm gonna like that better. Look in the context. And then now, let's add, these up here. Let's add this element. Okay, and then I'm going to add now one more thing just for me. Let's do this. And then that. See, how's that going to look, I wonder. Okay, let's find out. So I'm going to inset this. Okay, let's see if the standard inset will give me a little bit better. Yeah, we'll use the standard. Perfect. Q-mesh. Polygroup all. Just give it another little, very slight little raised portion there. Just another thing for the light to kind of hit it. Not too much. Although, you know what? I think I like, you know what? I might do this instead. Whoops. Let's see what this looks like. This is just all experimenting, right? I enjoy this process. I enjoy just messing around, seeing what I can get from this. So let's do that. And now Q-mesh it. Yeah, I think I like that look better. And then that's it now, divided. Yeah, I like that. So you can really see there's movement happening there now, right? So I need to mirror and weld this over. I'm going to say, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Mirror and weld it over. Whoops. I got local symmetry on. I'm all right with that actually. And then there. Now he's got that movement. This is where I'm starting to veer away from the original 80s, right? Because the original 80s, his legs just go right into this, right? They don't really. But I kind of want to do like I'm doing with my model here. I want to kind of make it like almost like you can visually see how legs and parts and things like that could move. And I might make a video of him transforming. I'm glad you're enjoying this logo and channel art designer. That's a lot of name right there. This is why I like array mesh, because I can really try some different things out with this. By the way, notice the hat. All right, I'm getting some apparel for these challenges as well. Okay, so I'm gonna want another one of these. So we are going to want, let me center this. Okay, so now this and this, right, are two separate pieces. All right, so I'm good with this. I have no real complaints here how this is looking like. So I'm gonna kill the array mesh of this now. I'm just gonna actually make this real geometry. So now it's real mesh. Okay, and I need it to be now a part of this one. So color, fill object, make it all the same. So I'm going to make this one polygroup, so if I ever need to separate it, I can. I like to work non-destructive if I can. And now I got this. Okay, so this is good. All right, mirror and weld it over. So we need to mirror weld this over. Boom, so we have this. And what I want to do now is copy this. And then I need to flip it the other way, 90 degrees. And then I'm going to knead it. All right, so look at this. I'm just going to need to be a lollipop. This is going to need to be a double lollipop if I remember right. Yeah. We're going to go double lollipop. Double it up. So let's see. I need to go, I think, lower. Yeah. Somewhere in, I think, yeah, that world. We'll go a little bit higher. Okay. So now we got this, and now I need another cylinder to complete the lollipop. Whoops. There you go. There. And this goes here. Rotates 90 degrees. And we're going to go probably in that range of the world. Okay, and it needs to be creased clearly so that it stays like that. So we got that. I want it all the same color. Again, so let's fill it with the color. Mirror and weld it over so I get the same on both sides. Okay. So now we have that. And now I need the other half of this too. So let's do. You like the t-shirt color? It's the Bills. Oh, and I've got, trust me, I've got some t-shirts coming. Okay? I've got some t-shirts coming that of course are going to be Transformer themed. And you like my dark light that I got going on here in the background? I'm gonna put some mood settling in here. Get in the mood. Okay, back to ZBrush now. I guess I'll let this save. All right, so now I need the other portion of this. So it needs to be round, spherical shape. Right? So okay, there's this. What is this again? Okay, that's the bottom one. All right. Now let's duplicate this again. I need this up here. This is actually the only thing I need right now is that. Delete the hidden. center. And we need a sphere. But let's not go with this sphere. We need this sphere. I might use this. Yeah, man, let's try it. Let's see. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, so now what I need to turn everything off, except for this, and come out of solo mode. Because now this needs to get a lot bigger. So let's say, do I want to do that? Yeah, I kind of like that. Kind of like that. And then, what does this look like if I flatten that? Like it's cool, looks different, but in reality, it's gonna move like this. Okay, this is giving me this movement. This is giving me this movement, so this would follow with it. I'm not looking for this kind of movement though. Let's see what. Oh, they did, but they did a pull. Okay, they added another articulated point. I see what they did. So then, yeah, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this then. I kind of like having this. So let's see. Let's put this at 4. 4. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we need to crease this and this to give us that look. Yeah, there. I am liking that. I am liking it. I'm liking it. And then we'll start adding some design elements in here. For sure. In fact, let's do a little something here in the middle. So we need symmetry now along the Z and locally. And I need insert a single edge loop. So we'll do this. We'll do this. Let's continue the theme that's kind of in him. You might never even see this, but I don't care. I don't care. Let's make this be a little bit, yeah, a little bit wide like that. Bevel it up. Yeah, let's throw a little bevel on here too. Now we need to crease these really quick. I'll just do it here. Now we've got something like that. Okay. And now I'm going to take this and rip it off. Change the poly grouping. Something like that. Let's insert multiple edge loops now on this line. Same thing here, same thing here. Delete it, delete it. Don't need that edge loop, don't need that edge loop. Now we got this. And what I'm going to do now is first give it this color. Okay, and then, where are you? Let's turn everything on so I can get the red. And then solo this out. And now let's give this the red color. Now let's move this into position. Let's sit inside the surface a little bit. Just repeat that. So funny, like, this is what I'm saying. This is ridiculous what I'm doing. You're not even really going to see this. So, whatever. Okay, and last thing is it needed a... Technically, there's a pole in here, right? So, technically, it's doing this. And then there's another cylinder doing that. And then from that, there's more going on up here, another cylinder with clicking ability. But that we will never, ever, ever see. So this we could see though. And we'll fill that with the color just so we got that. And all of our bases are covered now. Okay. So we got that articulation, we got that articulation, right? And then that piece needs to become now, needs to have some roundness to it. So what we need to do now down here is this now needs to, I want to round it from here to here. I'm just thinking, let me see. Okay, I got multiple. Could do a hole. Just trying to think right now real quick if I can just quickly do the Z modeler. Doing bridging with holes would do it. Bridging tangents not, because I can't stretch across, but might just throw it in there and then live with what I got. So it would have been better to do this shape off. So maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll let me try it. Maybe that'll work for me. All right, so let's try it. Duplicate it. This is going to become a cylinder. So over here. There's some tapering. Oh, I want, yes, taper this up. So I'm gonna want, let's see, I want something like this, which leads into this. Right? So close. So close. Okay, so let's come down to this point so that I can size down to there. Okay, perfecto. So it needs to sit right about there. So go this, go a little bit wider. Sits there. Actually, it needs to be based upon the front part, not the back. Okay, let's go with that. Go with that. Okay, and now I need, we don't need this edge right now. All right, we need to paint this. Yes, just those. We're going to transpose now. Click it once. Boom. Okay. And then I'm going to flatten that. Click curve. Perfecto. really liked what I did here for that silhouette. And I tapered it. So I'm going to, I'm going to Q mesh this polygroup all. Give me that ability. Then it doesn't stick out this much. Yes, it does. And this can get moved up now. Oops. First things first. This has got to get pushed down. Okay, and let's see, what can we do here? Let's push these back. So let's push all of these back so we get that. And then this needs to go like that. Let's keep it consistent. Something like that. And then I want a slight taper here. Give me that look. But now what we have is, let's just look at this now. The taper. Okay, so let's just see what I can do here. Crease. Want that crease, that crease, that crease. Definitely want that creased. Definitely want that. Definitely want that. Don't need that creased. Do need this creased. And then obviously, let me just complete edge loop that. And then single edge that. Let's see what we're getting. And now, cannot use this. I'm gonna need this. All right. I forgot to crease that. And I want to crease that. Let's just crease this whole thing. Burp. Saw something pop up. Hey, what is the standard tolerance needed for Boolean parts of adding paint to the 3D? Wait, let me read this question again. What is the standard tolerance needed for Boolean parts if you're adding paint to the 3D printed parts? I don't have an answer to that. I just make it work, right? So you want to have a little bit of, obviously, some little bit of tolerance. It depends how tight are you really trying to make the stuff that you're going to print out. And then also depends upon the size of the model, right? So am I making something that's 12 inches or am I making something that's 24 inches? Because then that tolerance point is going to be different. Because if I just say 0.5 millimeters, 0.5 millimeters at 12 inches might be enough tolerance, but when you get to the bigger sizes, you might need more tolerance there, I think, too. So I usually do a little bit, if I'm using ZBrush, I'll do a little bit of inflating. And then just get enough in there that's, usually about if we're talking in millimeters world, maybe a millimeter or two should be enough. And it's all going to come down to how many paints of coat are you going to do too. Because then that's adding your thickness. You're not adding too much thickness. And it also comes down to what paint you're using to paint with, right? If you're going to use some kind of thicker paint to paint something, then that you're going to need more tolerance. If you're going to use a spray can, you might not get as thick as you would going and buy a paint that you're going to apply by a paintbrush, because that's just got more thickness to the paint. So unfortunately, I can't give you an exact answer. For me, it's just all been a lot of trial and error, trying things out, seeing what I get, and then going from there. In all honesty. Let's mirror this. sure that was not helpful in any way, shape, or form. Okay, let's pull this out. Turn off the transparencies. See how this looks. We got something here. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Okay, so this here needs to get moved up. To be more like that. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. There, that is now a new articulated piece, and the articulation's happening in here. Like, this is the part that's making the leg now bend this way or that way. Right? So I'm just looking at, that's pretty much, I think, what they did here. Yeah, it's pretty much what they did here. Right, so the flat part here is going to be attached to here. So right, if you look at this, imagine this part of the leg's attached here, right? So then I can do this, and then now this leg is attached. So when I do this, this is the whole leg moving that direction, right? So I can go 90 degrees. There we go. And I'm not going to bother putting the pins and everything else in because you're not going to see it. It's not worth it. Okay. There's that. What's going on here? So we got that. I've been in the metals. So we got here, crease of 3. What if we go 2? No. 2's getting too soft for me for these pieces. That looks good. Alright. There we go. My RGB is now turned all the way up. That's why I wasn't getting the color that I wanted. And bingo. Mirror and weld that over. Oh, we gotta turn local off. Not along the Z, but along the X. There. Okay, so pretty much from the waist now all the way down the foot, except for the all the way down the leg, except for the foot, I've got a lot of articulating starting to happen here now. So this is taken care of, this is taken care of, this is taken care of. This is all just going to rotate. I don't need to show that. But maybe what I'll do with this piece is just give it a slight, a very slight gap. Just so visually we would be able to tell that there's some articulating happening here. I don't need this, and so now we'll do this. Not a lot. Just enough. Just so there's a little gap, and in fact, here, let's add to it. Let's add a bevel here. Let's add that bevel. Usually when I'm doing this guy, when I'm not with you all, I'm actually got transformers on. There. That'll round it to give it that feel. And then this piece needs to cooperate with that. So we're going to need to do something like that. And the way that I made this not really the best way to go about it. So let's get rid of these edge loops. So now that I can just come straight across that. Still have the angle that I need. And then I want it to come way all the way down like that. That's enough. There. There. Happy little trees. Okay, what's oh, I see what's in there. I see what's happening. How far out is that sticking out, actually? Let's take a look. Okay, so I don't want this. Okay. I don't want this. I don't want that. This is needs to be dropped down so it's sitting inside here. Yeah, good enough. Perfect. There. Okay. Problem solved. There. Technically now I need to give something in there. You'll never see it. I'm not going to waste the topology. Forget it. No wasted topology. You'll never see it. You might see this in here because I'm going to go probably the Gundam way of making that. Thank you for the nice model. Yeah, it would, to your tolerance question. Yeah, if you know, if you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna do 4 millimeters, right? And if it's long as it's 4 millimeters, right, and then you're sticking with that, and say I'm doing a 12 inch, but I'm really using the millimeters, and I do a 4 millimeter tolerance. Yeah, and if I'm just sizing up ratio wise, correct, in millimeters, you'll be fine. But if you decide to switch to say something another measurement like inches, now you're making that tolerance different now. Right, so as long as you're staying within the same dimensional world, you'd be fine to scale it up, and you would still have that tolerance. To answer your tolerance question more. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you're learning techniques and items for me. That's good. And let's see, how can optimize or merge for decreasing closer points or faces in ZBrush? Not following. Are you trying to weld things together? So you want to optimize merge for devices closer points or faces, or are you just trying to build something where you're trying to make points like merge together? Looking at one of your other questions. All right. And I'm going to now, I've been messing with this a lot lately. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's save this as Soundwave. Okay, feeling good about that. That's good to go. Let's do the arms. Let's take care of this part now. I'm in a good place with the legs. Now the arms. This is going to be probably a double hinge if I have to look at this. Yes, it's a double hinge. So looks like they not only have a double hinge. Oh no, it's pinned there and pinned there. Yeah, so it's a double hinge joint. Okay. Okay. Seeing it, seeing what they're doing. Understand what they did here. What their decision was to make a double hinge Rooney here. Okay. Okay. So we need this guy. All right, and we are going to need to make another copy of this. So we need this to actually also go into the forearm. Okay, but I don't want it to be blue. So let's put it back where it was. And I'll just duplicate. And one will be for the large. Rename large arm person. Okay. All right. This needs to take on this color. And subtractive. And now that's a group, and that's a group, and that's a group. So now I have this. So let's go. How far down do I want to go? I think that's far enough. I think that's far enough. And let's see, how deep is that going? So let's hide this dirt. I think we're gonna need to go deeper. Let me see how deep they probably go. Let's see, are they halfway through? Yeah, they're like halfway too. So let's go halfway. Let's do it. Okay. I'm going to turn off live booleans for now. And we want this. So we're going to do a multi-subtool selection. Both of those. None of this. Nothing else in here. And I just need to now go. Oops. Don't want anything up here selected either. Make sure nothing's moving else but this. So we need to go about there, let's say. It's good enough. There. Now we can throw live booleans back on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay, double hinge Rooney. Here we come. Double hinge it up. Double mint gum. When I bevel my parts, does holding shift key... No. Hold on. I'm looking at your question right now, logo and channel. So you're asking, when you bevel your parts, does holding shift give you the capability of getting exact bevels for each part of that I'm making? No. Not in the Z Mulder way, where you're selecting that bevel option Nope. That will not work. Because it's kind of an interactive beveling, right? So you're using your hand, and it's not being stored in the model, right? So if I want that, I got to start looking at different techniques. And there is a way, there's multiple ways to get bevel based upon a slider, right? So when you're using the Z modeler, you're doing more just visual, your eyes just looking, right? So you need a slider that can give a specific bevel to what you want, right? So as an example, let me first just go ahead and save this before we start diving into things here. I'm just going to save over top the existing 24. Okay. So let's grab something else. Let's just grab this, make this a poly mesh. And let's go ahead. Initialize cube. And so by default, this is going to have multiple poly groups, right? So what you could do is you can use either creasing or polygrouping to drive a bevel. Okay. So if I decide that here, let's crease this, polygroup all, outer tangents and targets. Oops. Okay, so now this green portion, right? The green has, this doesn't. Okay, so what you can do is over here in the geometry, okay, there's going to be a spot for us to do in the creasing a bevel. Right? So proportionally width, I hit bevel, and see now they get the same. And then see I can actually change the bevel on the fly. I can add more resolution. In essence, resolution is adding topology inside the bevel right here, right? And then that allows you to play with some sharpness of the bevel, because you got to think, you got to remember, you're going to divide this, right? So that'll change things up when you're doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it at this, the default, just like this, right? So you can see you can use this, right? So in essence, if you find a number you like, 0.02, then you can use that now and have the same thing, the same settings. So but it's using creased edges. It's looking for every creased edge, and it's going to add a bevel to the creased edge. So what you can also do with this is if you hold down Control and click on this, you can see now it's doing it to every single polygroup. Right, so now I get a bevel like that. Right, and so this is bevel, and these are beveled. So it's looking at the green, they get beveled, but so does the pink. So that's why it wasn't only the green faces this time moving. So you could use that slider for something like that as well. That's a way to go. What's up, Bradley? Welcome to my chaos. Logo and channel art designer. I just have to say the full name. Does that help you? But to your question, I'm assuming you were thinking about, oh, this bevel, right? What do I want? And when you're doing this, see, it's just me doing this. And if I'm tapping, you'll get that. This is stored. That's the only thing you'll be able to do. So you can, instead of holding the shift key, you go tap in another place, and then we'll do that same bevel that you just did. So those are the two options. Is either you using the sliders with either creasing or polygrouping, or once you've done a bevel, that is stored and you just tap and we'll give you the same bevel within Z Modeler. Those are the only two ways to get like the same exact bevel. The other, well, actually the third way they're the third way to do something. Okay, so if let's say let's undo this. Let's Q mesh this up a little bit. I don't want hot pink here. Okay, so let's say this now, this. Okay. All right. Let's say this. In fact, let's do all of this. And now let's do this. Okay. So let's say you want to bevel up here, and you want to bevel down here, and just other, in essence, you want beveling in multiple locations. Okay, so what you can do in ZModeler is you can use this add to curve. So you just click and it adds a curve. It's not symmetrical, so you have to go and click on all individually, each individual edge that you want to have a bevel. And I'm looking where, see, it says delete curve. And now it says add. I want to make sure I get add curve in there. So now those have it. And then I'll go down here. Add to curve, add to curve, add to curve. Okay. So you got now curves up here and curves down here. So you can actually hover over this. And you see where it says delete curves now? That'll just delete one curve. So if I tap, see, it'll delete the curve. What I'm going to do now is hold the space bar, and then there's a bevel option instead of delete option. And now what happens when I click on any of the curves, you can see this is beveling and so is this. And they're beveling at the same speed or same result, let's say, same result. Joe, you were asking for the ZBrush number for 2021 itself. If you're asking that, I can't answer that if the summit's going to be online only. It's too early, you know, with the vaccine going around and everything to figure out. Because our summit, we don't do until like September. So it's a long ways away. Got another 7 months, 7 to 8 months before we start even throwing that out to the public. Obviously, we start planning that and prepping it way before that. Okay, so does that answer the bevel question that you were asking? So those are the ways you can do it. You can either use that slider right in here, right? There's the repeat option. Once the bevel's been drawn once, you can repeat all over the mesh. Or you can do something like this. Use the add to curve to solve your problem. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that can be done with multiple parts at the same time in the same subtool. It's subtool driven, right? You can't go in on this subtool and go to another subtool. We only allow you to edit one subtool at a time, right? So it's not going to edit the other subtool. So you would need to, in that case, if you had multiple subtools, you would need to merge all the subtools, do your adding your curves, right? Do the bevel, and then resplit them back up. There's no other way to get around that. All right, so there you go. To the question, there you have it. Okay, where was it? Okay, so we need to make a double hinge joint here now. Okay. So in essence, the elbow hinge joint. Right. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go, let's insert. Well, I want it to live in the same place. So let's just duplicate this. Duplicate this and let's move it out. There's the red strip. Okay. And now let's rename this. Elbow. Right, and I want this color on this now. Perfecto. And let's get to creating. So theirs has got, I'm going to go this. I think I'm going to do this. And I want to have, okay. We need this to be, okay, let's first of all do a mirror and weld. Boo-ba-doo-boo, because I'm not working symmetrically. Mirror and weld. That way they're both sitting in the same part of the world. I want this, I need this to go back a certain amount. Okay. There we go, we got that. Okay, and what I want to do now, I want to create the top. Okay. So let's now insert edge loop there. Okay, and then this needs to go up because this is filling this gap now. Again, I'm going to keep a little bit of gap. That'll help just sell visually that there's a joint here. Okay, and now let's get to do a little bit more fun design-wise. So I definitely want this to come out more this direction. And I'm going to insert this, and then I'm going to do something like that. Let's give it a little bit more volume. Let's make sure really not intersecting with anything. Okay. Mirror and weld that over. Okie dokie. Let's now crease it all. Let's look at how it's going to look. Okay. Let's see. I can probably keep this with Q grid on. I don't know if I'm not going to bring any. Okay, glad I can answer that question for you. I'm glad, Bradley, you had a great time in the ZBrush Summit 2019 in person. It is different in person, right? It's a lot different. You're interacting with people. It's a little more fun going on there, right? For sure, 100%. Just debating if I want to stay low polygon or go into dynameshing this and then start using some clipping brushes because I could get some particular angles that I might want to have in this. I'm debating it. I guess I'll just stay right now. I guess I'm going to stay low polygon. Right, finish that. Weld. Giving that little, again, it makes a big difference with the lighting, I'm telling you. You know what, I think I am going to do this particular one. I am going to maybe dynamesh this. Just debating now. Okay. If we're going to do that, if I am going to do that, we need to polygroup this up so I can use it to my benefit later on. Polygroups all around. Good. I'm going to apply this, delete this, so now we got this. And now, technically, I don't have to. We will. Just thinking maybe trim would be better actually. Start trimming some stuff. And I'm getting new polygroups at the same time. Yeah. This is going to make me switch to clip. I like that cut. The one problem is I need a new polygroup. Okay, so let's get more topology. Oops, I need to, darn it. Thank you. I need to mask off the portion I don't want to affect. It's getting a new polygroup at the same time. Okay, I like that. Let's add a little something else up on the top too. So same 140 angle. Okay, yeah, I like that. That looks good. And now, I think, I don't see any other angle I want to put. Let me see what they did. Oh, they did a little bit of the same thing. So they pushed theirs in more. They did even a bigger angle. So they did even a bigger angle, and they got this sitting way more forward. So they got this part. Let's see what it looked like if I did that on mine. Yeah, I kind of agree with him on that. So now this needs a 140 with a new poly group. Okay. Let's go ahead. Dynamesh. No groups. I like to start low just to see what I'm getting. Okay, so definitely need to go a lot higher. And let me turn the paint off on this. So if you turn the paint off, so Dynamesh can save two things. It can either save your painting or your polygrouping. So I'm turning the painting off because I want the polygroups to be maintained. Right, so go to higher resolution. There, 2 million's enough. Okay, and now I want this at a 140. And then re-dynamesh that. Now I think I got my double hinge. It's too much. Taking off too much. I don't like that. I'm going to go more like that. Let's see. What does that look like? Decisions. Okay, I like that one better. Here we go. Now what I have is this Dynamesh piece, but I took the time to make new polygroups. Right, so what that's actually going to do for me is I can use it for my benefit. Use the grouping ability here to kind of start polishing up those polygroups. I'm going to go stronger. Let's go a lot stronger. Let's do the other algorithm. There we go. Now I have this. So all these polygroups. I don't need the other side right now. And I don't need Dynamesh anymore. So I do need to work symmetrically along the local. Okay, so that's right. Let's see what we get. Keep groups. Let's remesh it. See what we get. While that's remeshing, oh, so you haven't really used ZMulder and you're enjoying the stream about this? That's good. How did you get the little menu to come up? What is that menu? The little menu. Okay, that's not horrible. Let's go lower now. Okay, wait. What? Let me backtrack to what I was doing, trying to think of what menu you're referring to as well. Let's see. How low can I go? How low can I go? How low can I go? I guess you might as well go that. I might as well go that low. What little menu were you talking about? I'm trying to think now. What was I doing? Trying to think what menu I pulled up. I'm having a brain fart of what menu I might have just pulled up. Let me think what I was doing. Let's see, I added... Are you talking about ZModeler menu? Or are you talking about the polygrouping, the fact that I allowed the clip brushes to have polygroups? Is that what you're talking about? Which one are you talking about? Okie dokie. Now let's just go all the way down. I'll clean it up a little bit right now. Ooh. I don't like it. Way too... Little trees. Okay, let's look at this now. Let me turn off Sculptors Pro. Okay, so I don't need that edge loop. I don't need that edge loop. Don't need those. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. No. 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 Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need this, don't need this. might do here is get rid of these. Now just use only this. Where are you? Delete, 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 delete hidden. Double. Don't need that, 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 don't need that. Do 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 do. Only. Okay. Don't need that. So everything's straight and nice now. Don't need that. Any other scrappers? So let me see now. Taking myself out of solo. Okay. This works. All right. So I will need, see, this is going to go to there. This, I would need an edge loop this way, so this would go here. So I could bridge from here to here, which means I would need now, I need an edge loop like right about there, so I can bridge from there to there. Whoops. Bridge. If I want to be crazy ridiculous, I can clean that up if I want to. Then I need to go bridging. There's that. If I want to be be very particular, I can do that. Line those up. Now I need to bridge across. So I need an edge loop here first. So let's do this. Old school Maya trick, using the gizmo. Bridge it, bridge it, bridge it, bridge it. So now this, its own polygroup. Okay, now I got the angles I wanted. Turn this on now. And it looks like I'm going to just clip it just a bit. So is this the menu we're talking about? I don't know if this is the menu you're talking about. Let me know. There's a delay from when I'm talking to showing it and when I see what you guys respond. But let me know if that's the menu. How did you get that little menu to come up? I'll go back. Okay, you're going back and looking. Okay. So we want this. What do we got here? Increase all. There we go. Let's think about continuing what's in the upper arm. They stay pretty simple with theirs. All right, Hinge. So we'll make this. Duplicate this. Rename it. subs. All right. Center this, do this. Get that handy dandy cube that I like so much. Okay, small. Not smaller than this. The bevel is just too insane. Sum it up. Let's go smaller. Let's get something more like in that realm. Maybe. I can see how this is going to work, but he may use the slicing instead. Maybe I'll do that. Slicing, slice, curve. So are you back logo? Was it this menu that I'm using again? Is this the menu you're talking about? If so, I can tell you what I'm doing. Okay, so I need to go. That's good. I mean, that's good. So we'll put it there. And we'll put one there. And then these need to be creased. And then I'm going to need, let's see, we're going to need an edge loop here. To give it a little bit. And then I'm going to need one here. And we'll crease these up. And this definitely needs sliding. So is that. I'm gonna go with something more like that, I think. And then it goes about this far. And then I need it all creased. Okay, and now Q-mesh. There we go. There we go. It's good. Just make my life easy. Let's just crease all. as are sitting. Okay, that looks good. And then now, the whole reason why I was doing this was I want to now do kind of what we've done already. Freddy. I'm going to inset, standard. Okay, so we need to do not the standard, it's doing. The standard's breaking my silhouette. I'll deal with the. See what this looks like. Let me see if I like this. It's looking pretty different. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. What if I mirror and weld this over? Turn off local. Let's see. I think I want to add one more thing. So let's still use this maybe. So I'm going to go this route. Yeah, that's looking. Yeah, I kind of like that. Just breaking this up a little bit more. What if I take this and continue this up here? Beginning to be too much. Maybe just a little slur like that. Okay, that looks good. There we go. Double hinge articulation point now. Okay, let's go ahead and be the protector here and let's save this out. Let's save this to 25. Okay, hold on. Brought up. Maybe that menu you just brought up. Okay, yeah, that's a slicing menu. It was a bit smaller in the width when one had just brought up, but can show. Let's see. It felt like the menu was a bit smaller in width than the one you had just brought up. But can you show them both? Well, the only menus that you bring up, unless you've created your own, like, you know, obviously there's the big menu. This is with space bar. This menu has to deal with the clipping and slicing brushes. So I did bring this up when I was using the clip brush, because when I was clipping, I wanted to generate new polygroups. So I can turn this on. So this is control and spacebar together, which this menu actually lives in the brush palette. It's just when we were making this, I wanted, and many of us wanted, to have quick accessibility to these options with the brushes, because there's just really powerful. I'm assuming it's this menu that you're referring to, because there is no really other small menu that I've pulled up that you can pull up inside a ZBrush. Right? Because then this is going to give me the capability of doing the polygroup. Again, this is control and spacebar. The B radius is amazing, and so is the polygroup. I use these things all the time. I just used them both. I used the polygroup for clipping, and then I ended up using the B radius with also the slicing too. So they come in very handy, in all honesty. You think that's the one? Okay, so do you know what they do? Then this is it. If there was 3 options, then that's the only menu that you can pop up that only has 3 options. That's it. That's the menu. 100%. So, what they do, I'm going to briefly give you an explanation of what they do. Okay? So, with clip curve, right? By default, it's just squishing the mesh. There's no polygrouping. So now I can say polygroup. So when you clip, see, a new polygroup gets made. And the way I was using this to my benefit with some of the other sliders, and then I Z-remeshed with polygrouping. So that was important to me when I just made that double hinge joint for my elbow. I wanted that polygrouping. Okay? And the spacebar menu has not changed. Okay, so that's what that's doing. So now, what also is very nice, okay, is you can also have B radius now. So if I'm clipping now, let's go like this, you can create this kind of step look. So I'm sitting at 520,000 polygons now, so it's a little more dense. But this is being limited by now the brush size. The brush size is actually the smaller circle. The outer circle is your focal shift. Okay? So now anytime I clip, I'm not going to get a full clip, because this B radius is on. It's telling to pay attention to the brush size. So if I go with a smaller brush size, right, I'll get a smaller clip, right? And then it also appreciates all this too. So you can do stuff like this, and it will appreciate that. And then if you go with a larger brush size, then the clip is more of the clip's going to happen. It's going to flatten it more. Okay? So that's what the B radius is doing, and polygrouping is doing for me with the clip brushes. Now, with the slice curves, one thing that I did which was beneficial, you don't need polygrouping because they already have it, was using this B radius, right? So when you're slicing, you're just doing this kind of thing. Whoops. Right? So very handy. But if you turn on B radius, you're now not going to get one slice, you're actually going to get 2. And again, if you look, it's based upon the brush size. So if I go smaller, and then now I do something like that, I'm going to do this. So let's go back to the beginning now, and let's just do this, do this. Okay, so you see it's double slicing, and then I can start within there. Do this. Maybe I want that. No, I don't like that. Yeah, that looks good. And now maybe I want to do this. Do this. And let's throw another one more in there. Okay. Now, because I know I'm getting perfect slices that are all the same distance and depth, I can come over here now, edge loop it, and tell it to be a little crisp. And I'm going to go inward. And there I got design, scribe lining design kind of look to it. Does that make sense? It's control and spacebar. In fact, looking at this, let's go back to my guy. Let's see, it's going to be in the leg. This. Let's do something with that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's geometry. Let's apply and then delete. So we'll only get this. Let's see, we are going along. What, along the X? What am I building this? No, along the Z. Yeah, along the Z. So slicing does not have. That's too big. Symmetry ability. So I'll solve that though. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do another one on the front. Then let's actually also go from here, from the red into the yellow. It'll happen on both sides. And then let's do that again, but now let's do it in multiple locations. Let's do one there. Let's do one down here. Okay, and now we have this. And then now let's local. There, now it's on both. And then now let's just, I want this, and this. Let's do this. Edge looping, crisp. Let's go in. No, maybe not that one. You know what? I'm gonna go uncrisp. No crispies. Okay, I think it's a little too much. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I like that. I like it. All right, and then let's just add some element down here. Rename. Subs. All right, and back to this. Again, I want to use this. We'll do a creasing. In fact, let's just do Q grid. Don't need two. No smoothing. That looks good. And I now need this to be subtractive. Alright, just a little something, just break up that piece a little bit. In fact, I might, let's see, what is this going to look like? What if I did this? Yeah, a little bit wider. Oh my. Near and weld. Come on, come on. Here we go. want the dark color. Okay, and now here, this guy, brush, insert. Where you at? Where are you, model kits? What would something like this look like? Like that? Not sure. Just not sure. I think maybe what I'd rather do is brush the modeler. Take these faces, rip them off. Crease, 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 crease. Crease, crease, crease. And I don't want this or this. And let's first actually change the size of this. All right. Humish. Okay, just reading the question through, making sure. I want this to sit. Yeah, I like that better. I like that better now. Okay, that's looking better. Let's do an inset. No! Oh, no. Just lost her. Crash. Relaunch. Okay. You might have locked out. I didn't have a ton. Let's see. I need it over here so I can see what the heck. Back and go. Okie dokie. Didn't lose that much. Did not lose that much. So that reminds me. Let's go ahead and save. All right. I only lost that part, the part I just made. Really, not much of anything, in all fairness. This color fill object there. Okay, and now I'm looking at this piece. And what I did, Z-modeler, I wanted this, and this. Let's rip it off. Polygroup all. That, and I need creasing. Boom. And I need to shrink it down. I wanted to come in like this. Oops, and more like that. Okay, and then now I need this inserted edge. I'll crease that as well. And now Q mesh single. I don't want this one. Don't want this one. Let's see. Close. So I want this to come down like that. Yeah, there. Okay. Why I did it that way. Did I want this to be sticking out? So, but let's first. Okay, insets. Flat island. See what we get. Let's see if I can get rid of the. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get rid of this. Standard doing. Standard does it, but I just don't like the mesh it's making. But oh well. Q mesh, polygroup all. Keep that little bit of that theme going that I'm doing here. And then crease edges. Good. Need that creased, but whatever. That creased, that creased, that creased. I want that creased as well. What's this looking like? There we go. Some kind of U shape. And then it's going to go in and only have a little bit of a raised surface. And then now you have that. Now I mirror and weld it over. Not with local on. Mirror weld. There we go. I'm going to go with something like that for that articulated point. Add a little, right now, just a little something extra. All right. Wait, questions, more questions. Hold on. Autosaves I got set to the default. It's saving to, autosaves are saving to a location. Right, they're saving to a, here I can show you. I need my mouse though to do that. And of course I'm on the Macintosh side, and I'm gonna assume pretty much everybody even with me right now is not on the Macintosh side. So, but I can show you in this. It's not hard. Okay, so on the Macintosh side, you're going to a particular location where the autosaves are going to go. Okay, so right here, so it's just in the hard drive, users, shared, and then right here you can see 2021, and I've got other versions of ZBrush, so that's why I have other data folders. And these scratch disks right here, text files, one of them says where the quick saves go, and you can say, see where it's going, users, shared, ZBrush data 2021, right? So there's the quick save right there folder. And then there's a scratch disk, which is in its essence virtual memory, which is this folder right here, which can get large. You can see all the files. Like this is what ZBrush is calling with when it's running. It keeps making mem files in here. So you can actually, if you got a, like say a smaller hard drive as your main hard drive, because that's where you're installing ZBrush anyways, and you have a bigger secondary or third hard drive, and you want that virtual memory and the quick saves to go there, you can do that. So instead of having the quick saves come into this folder, you can actually change it to a different folder. And my quick saves, I've got them set to the default. So it's at 20 and 1. A duration of 20 and a rest period of 1. Which isn't bad. You know, it all comes down to if you're working with a really taxing piece, then that will make a difference for sure, right? But otherwise, it'll save pretty quick. I kind of want to see something now when I'm looking at this. Just like to keep messing around. It's not bad. I get some asymmetry in there. Just give it a little something extra. I kind of like that. I need something down here too. So what if I take this, and this is what I love about live building. It's just, I don't know. Give it a try. See what we get. Oops, need this centered. Yeah, I kind of. Which do I prefer? Oh, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Maybe a little bit more lip. And I'll mirror weld that over. I kind of like that. Breaking up things a little bit. It's not so perfecto. For now, I'll just leave it, because when I start adding more details, all this, like all the details in here and everything, all that, we'll see how all that works together. Thank you. You're very kind, Sina. Same on Windows and PC. I'm sure. Yeah, the paths are the same. It's just, you just go in there and you just open the text file and then you just change. Like by default, you know, C drive, right? So if you have a D drive or an F drive, you just go in and just put that drive in those text files, and then ZBrush will send the folders to that. And then the Windows side for those files is your hard drive, public, public documents. And then you'll find those folders, the ZBrush folder. I'm doing Boolean cuts right now. Yeah, and I just leave them. I do not apply my Boolean ever until like I'm done and I'm gonna like get it out for 3D printing, or I'm just done and I want to get it out so I can render and get it out. That's about it. Or the other one would be I'm making something that I want to use in as a Boolean actual like piece, right? Then I'll do that. But I don't convert otherwise. No. No. I don't do that until the end. It's just easier. And then I'm telling you, using the folder system, especially for all the 3D printing that I do, the folder system's huge. It makes things so much better for me. So, because I can Boolean right here in the gear, I can Boolean just the folder. And when you do that, it'll only go through this folder and then spit out the result right below the folder and then turn off every single subtool in the folder. So you got like a non-destructive where you still have the pieces here within the same tool. I don't need to save multiple tools and all that. It's way better, in my opinion, to work with live Booleans. All right, Badley, see you next time. I'm going to be calling it a night, too. I'm tired. It's going on 1 o'clock in the morning here for me. I think I got some good points of articulation in the elbow, and the hip, and then in the knee. So I've got a good start going. I'm probably now going to start just getting going on. I'll probably maybe do some more articulating here, articulation points here, and maybe in the foot. But I think I'm just going to start going. Oh, and I still need to do the articulation here in the shoulder as well. So I might get going on that. And then I'm going to start doing more details for him than what I have. Like trying to do more of this kind of stuff now in more places. Just bring him to life a lot more. And go with that. 4 a.m. there. Man, you're on the East Coast. What are you doing up? What are you doing up, logo and channel? Can't sleep, huh? Okay, I'm going to save this guy out just so I have him saved out. See my iterations. There we go. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm calling it a night. I'm tired. I can feel it. My energy level is falling. So I appreciate you coming through for watching me just mess around and going through my process, right? So this is me just messing around and figuring things out and getting what I want to make this guy look like. Okay, until next time, keep an eye on my... go ahead and subscribe and click the little bell now on YouTube so that when I put up... I've been putting up the events ahead of time, at least the morning of the day I'm streaming, or at least the day before. But I've been constantly the last 2 weeks, I've been streaming every Tuesday and Wednesday night. So I'm going to try and continue this trend for the next like 8 weeks minimum. By then, I'll definitely have Soundwave done. And by then, I'll probably moved on to another transformer. Nice. Working from home. Love it. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Or a great morning if you're somewhere else, whoever was watching from somewhere else. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.